friends. Janine here with Jet Travel. Thank you for joining us to our Travel Tuesday, which is happening on a Wednesday this week. We really want to say thank you for joining us because today we are talking all about Savannah. And for some of you who might be wondering why we are talking to Mindy from Visit Savannah today. Hey, Mindy, how are you?
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Awesome. We asked Minnie to chat with us today because we have a motor coach going in September to actually Savannah. So we wanted to hear more about the great town we will visiting, what to do and see. So we reached out to Mindy and she graciously said that she could join us today. So Mindy, take us to Savannah, give us a little taste of what we could be seeing.
Well, thanks for the opportunity. Really do appreciate it. And I'm so excited that your group's coming. If you've not been to Savannah, you are in for a treat. And I've been with Visit Savannah a little over 15 years now. So as you can tell, I have a passion for the city. And inevitably, when I meet people not only across the US, but around the world and mention Savannah, they've either been here and they want to come back, or if they haven't been here, they've heard about it and they want to come. So for us, that is a great place to be. And I'm going to show you over the next couple of minutes slides and just give you an idea of why people love our city so much. So the first thing that you're seeing is our iconic image, and this is Forsyth Park. This is kind of our central park, if you will. It's in the back of our historic district, and you will inevitably see this while you're visiting with us. So Savannah is what people think about when they think about what the South looks like, it feels like. It's the cobblestone streets and the horse and carriages and the beautiful historic homes. This one is called the Davenport House. It was the first one saved during our city's renovation and restoration in the 1950s. We also have the Julie Gordon Low birthplace. How many were Girl Scouts? This is the founder of the Girl Scout organization, Julie Gordon Low. You can tour her home. You've got beautiful places like the Harper Folks House. And my personal favorite, the Owens Thomas House. It has this amazing architecture, both inside and outside. But more importantly, they uncovered what appears to be the oldest remaining, or one of the oldest remaining slave quarters still in the United States. And you can tour those as well. All talks about our Savannah history and our ties to that era. So the Mercer Williams House, this one's a little special. If you've ever read a book called Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil or seen the movie, you know that a very famous murder took place in Savannah several decades ago. This house is where it happens. Specifically in that bottom left window is where Jim Williams shot Danny Hansford. So if you know anything about the story, you're going to want to see this. If you haven't read or seen the movie Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, that is your homework assignment before you get here.
I think that's funny you say that because I know that of some of the people who already signed up for our experience, they're avid book readers and history lovers. So like seeing the architecture, knowing the history of the area, I mean, that I feel is like one of the big draws for a lot of people that are going with us right now. So I love that you gave us a little bit of homework.
Great. Yes. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil is your assignment. I would suggest reading the book. The movie's like, we're not crazy with it. It's John Cusack, but I think you'll get a little more sense of the characters and the quirkiness of Savannah. That's one of the things we call ourselves, the bawdy little sister of Charleston, and we embrace that. We love that. we don't mind being that at all. We embrace our crazy people. So you'll see some of that. Another part of our history that you'll see around Savannah are our forts. This was Old Fort Jackson. It was built around the early 1800s to help us buffer us from the ocean and from any enemies that may be coming up through the Savannah Harbor. A couple of times a day they have cannon firings. Those are fun to go see. There you see that at Old Fort Jackson. We also embrace our religions, all of them, including this beautiful church. This is the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist. This is free to go into, and I would highly suggest you make that stop along your trolley route because they do drop you off right there, but it is stunning. You will not see anything else like this in the southern United States. So you want to go in and take a look around at this magnificent church. And on the opposite end of that, also in our historic district, First African Baptist Church. This church is the home of the oldest Black congregation in North America. It was built by slave labor. You can go in and take a tour. It was also part of the famed Underground Railroad system, and you'll see evidence of that within the church. It's really, really interesting. Of course, we're not all churchgoers. We loved our drink back in the day, and we had Prohibition here, just as everywhere else in America. And one of our newer museums is the American Prohibition Museum. It is the only museum of its type in America. And as you can see, it is extremely well done, a lot of fun. Another one of our recent museums, the Savannah African Art Museum, over 6,000 pieces of art from Africa and that continent. This ties into our African American history and certainly our slave history in the United States. Another museum that's free to go into here.
And you said some of those are even on the hop on, hop off bus, trolley, not a bus, it's a trolley. So that's a really cool thing. That's a part of our tour, is it has that hop on off trolley. And a lot of these places, you already said, they're stops. So you don't even have to think about going there.
Yeah, the entire historic district is only 2.5 miles square, even though we're one of the largest historic districts in North America. But you have about 16 trolley stops along the way, and it stops at the Julie Gordon Low, it stops at the Owens Thomas House. So you will see these stops along the way. My suggestion would be to take the first loop, just stay on the first 90 minutes and then use those on and offs to go back to see places that were of particular interest to you. Okay,
cool. I love doing that too with hop on, hop off.
Right. And next up is River Street. This is our western end of River Street. If you've been to Savannah before, and it's been a few years, you probably didn't see this because we actually extended River Street and added what you see here. It's called the Plant Riverside District. It comprises of 5 hotels, but mainly for your purposes, there are 2 rooftop bars. There's an outdoor pavilions, seafood and barbecue pavilions. There's an amphitheater where there's live entertainment almost every night outdoors. So it's a beautiful setting right on the water. Can't miss it. Definitely want to check that out. And as we've been hearing, Savannah is an incredibly good walking city. We're completely flat. We're laid out in a perfect grid system. Actually, America's first planned city dating back to 1733. So you want to get out and walk around and get those steps in. So throughout the historic district, and you're going to see this the minute you get here, we have 22 of the original 24 what we call squares. Squares for us are small parks. They've got benches and fountains and trees. So again, a very friendly walking city, but also we give you lots of places to sit down. And almost all of these were in the original 1733 plans. Very cool. Yeah. Of course, you want to eat some good food while you're here, and you certainly will. This is one of those famous places that people just queue up every day and wait to get in. If you can't get to it on this trip, it's 100% a reason to come back. And if only to have the famous lunch at Mrs. Wilkes, still served family style, big tables. You sit with a bunch of strangers and you get to know some really wonderful people while you're having a fabulous meal.
Got it.
And you will see
and then,
that.
So talk to us about some of the food that we should try to take advantage of when we're down there. So like, I see ice cream. Obviously, I'm a fan of ice cream.
Yes.
Barbecue, or what kind of Southern staples should we give a whirl when we're down there?
Well, we are right off the ocean. We're 20 minutes from the ocean. So obviously a lot of seafood. And what we have is kind of that seafood Southern mix. So yes, you have some of those favorites like fried green tomatoes and shrimp and grits. Kind of shrimp and grits is one of those signature items that you will find on just about every menu, and everyone does them their own way. So every restaurant claims to have the best, and you should try a few just to kind of decide for yourself. But fried green tomatoes, shrimp and grits, crispy scored flounder is another local favorite, fresh out of the water. Leopold's ice cream that you see here is an iconic ice cream shop. It was named one of the top 10 destinations in the world by Travel and Leisure magazine. It's been around since the 1920s, still there, serving up ice cream, fresh, homemade, every single day. No lack of food in the city.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Tell me more.
Yes. Okay, so along with the food, we also like to drink. And as the distillery craze has swept the country, it's certainly hit here in Savannah. We have one of our famous ones, the Ghost Coast Distillery, just one of several that you can go in and tour, have a little tasting at the end if you would like. Even the Prohibition Museum has a bar. So not so prohibitive here, but they do cocktail classes every night. So again, even if you don't have a chance to do it on your tour this time, it's yet another reason to come back and bring family and friends and come back and do one of the nightly cocktail classes. And one of the things you'll be making is called Chatham Artillery Punch. It's just a big punch, a big hodgepodge of everything you can think of, and you've got to be very careful. Let me just say, it tastes really good, and those are the dangerous ones when you get out on the streets.
100%. You're like, oh, this doesn't taste like anything, and then you stand up and you're like, oops.
Yeah, it hits you, and that's exactly what this does. Here they are having and making and enjoying some of our Chatham Artillery Punch. It's a great story and history behind that as well. You would have to find out from them. And very much like Bourbon Street and Vegas, that you can walk down the streets with your adult beverages. Savannah does this as well. We're one of the few cities in the nation where you can do this. So our restaurants and bars will even give you your own little plastic to-go cups to walk out, so you can go from venue to venue. And at night, this city, during the daytime, we certainly love and embrace our history and our museums. At nighttime, completely different vibe. Live music everywhere. Doors are open to bars and restaurants and karaoke and pubs, and rooftop bars have just exploded here, and outdoor cafes. So you can take your adult beverage from place to place whenever you would like, and really check out our nighttime scene here in Savannah. So we talked about River Street. This is one of the places that our trolleys will be taking you. This runs right along the Savannah River, over 100 shops and restaurants in these former, mostly cotton warehouses. They were used for a lot of things, but primarily cotton.
So is this area, the Riverside area, is it a lot of pedestrian, or is it a mix of everything?
It is. It's primarily pedestrian. There are cars allowed down through here, so you kind of have to watch your step, but these are original cobblestone streets. So, be a little careful with the heels, ladies, and the drinks, because it's you kind of have to watch your footing here. But these were ballast stones that were brought over on the original cargo ships coming over. So a lot of these came from Europe, from all over the world, that they were coming in on the ships from. So as you can see through these buildings, they're beautiful. You walk inside, there's exposed brick and exposed beams. They've really left the nature of these buildings as much as possible.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
And you can see what it looks like at night. The city just, again, it comes alive. Lights, beautiful water. Another way to see the city is on the Savannah Riverboat. This is the Georgia Queen at 1,000 passengers. It is the largest riverboat in the country right now. We do gospel dinner cruises on Monday nights, sightseeing cruises throughout the week. And another great way to see the city.
Okay.
At night, we become a ghost town. Literally, we are America's most haunted city, as designated by Duke University, nonetheless. And we have all kinds of tours, walking tours, trolley tours, horse and carriage tours, even an open hearse tour. So not too many people have ridden in a hearse and lived to tell about it. This is a great way.
I was going to say open hearse sounds like a little new on the to-do list.
Interesting way to go and see the ghosts around Savannah, but you have to check one of those out. And there you see them enjoying a nighttime carriage ride. Another beautiful point of interest is Bonaventure Cemetery, a wonderful historic cemetery. Next time you're out here, it's about 15 minutes outside our historic district. Well worth the trip. Just a photographer's paradise out there.
It looks like it. It's stunning
Oh,
visually.
I hear your group is going to the Savannah Theater.
Mhm.
Very, very lucky group to get to do this. The Savannah Theater, the building itself, actually, this is the oldest continually operating theater in the United States. So dating back to the early 1800s, the building itself is beautiful Art Deco inside, and you will see some of the most amazing live shows. These are live Broadway style musicals and musical theater. You're going to absolutely love it. Everybody raves. There is nobody who goes to the Savannah Theater and doesn't come out feeling just amazing and so pumped up and so happy.
Cool.
Now, nearby, about 20 minutes away, again, this could be for a future family trip. Tybee Island is our beach community. Cute little island, not one single branded hotel or restaurant on the island. This is all mom and pop operation, and it is magnificent. Just so you know, it has its own lighthouse, you can climb the stairs, and in our outlying areas, just the most amazing marshes and views and Spanish moss that you will ever see. This is the Warm Soga Historic Site.
Oh, so
And
idyllic. Like you would just, it's like what you picture. So
it is. If you say Gone with the Wind or Forrest Gump or
yeah.
anything in the South, this is really the quintessential South. We make it very easy to get here, as you can see on the map below my picture. We have lots of direct flights now. We have multiple airlines and nonstop flights. So we're making it easier than ever to get here and to enjoy and embrace our beautiful city.
That is awesome. Mindy, that looks so great. I'm so excited for our group that's coming. And now I've just moved Savannah up the top of my list for a little bit. So one quick question that I have for you that we always get from clients, because we live in northern Wisconsin. So weather's a big deal for us. What should we be expecting for weather in September? What should I pack with me?
You should pack for summer, because summer doesn't end here until late October.
Okay.
So it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid.
Okay.
And you're just going to dress for it.
Okay.
Dress just with cool clothing. You want to stay hydrated as you would in any warm location or hot location. But we're still, that summer really extends through September for us. So be prepared for the warm weather. Bring little hats if you have to, just to keep the sun out of your face. But it is still going to be quite warm in September for you.
Perfect. For those of us that don't want to give up the summer, this sounds like a good extension to like have a little bit of it through the middle of the month.
It absolutely is.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, Mindy, thanks again for joining us. If anyone has questions, you can reach out to us. We'll gladly reach out to get the answers from Mindy. But we really thank you for sharing your love of Savannah, and we can't wait to see you in September.
Well, it's been my pleasure, and we can't wait for all of you to get here and experience our city and go back and brag to all your friends and show them the pictures, share it on social media, and then come back and spend some more time with us.
That sounds excellent. All right, everyone, keep your eyes out. We'll have more fun coming, and otherwise have a great Wednesday.